whole GOAT term is never going to be something that I ever will get high or low about. It just doesn't exist with me. I never played against Oscar Roberts or Jerry West. Would have loved to. Absolutely love to. Just as competitive as I am.
Yeah.
And I actually learned from them. And we, paved the road to the Kobe's and the LeBrons, right? And to me, it's the beauty of the game of basketball that a player, after a previous player, has evolved the game further.
Mm-hmm.
But don't then, in essence, this is the way I look at it, don't then now use that against the player that actually taught you the game or that you learned from.
Yeah,
and that's why I have a tough time. And, look, I would love to have played against LeBron and, Kobe in my prime. I would love to have played, against those guys. But we'll never be able to know that.
He is right. We will never be able to know that. Does he make a point, Kenny? Do you agree with what MJ's saying?
Well, as a competitor and as one of the GOATs or the GOAT, I understand what he's saying. But, from an outside looking in, there's a comparison that is natural. And there is a debate. And it's for us to say it, maybe not for him. It's for us to tell you who the GOAT is, the people who've admired or both players or multiple players, to tell you it is by the criteria that we set. And the one thing that I would say that creates him and makes him the basketball GOAT of everything that we've seen in our day, in our lifetime, is that everything that we talk about and we see on this part, on the offensive end, he was just as good on the defensive end. If you were in a Houston Rocket locker room when we played the Chicago Bulls, we'd say, we're going to run X5. But if Jordan's on the left side, we're going to run it on the right. So kind of like what I heard that they did at times with Deion Sanders in football. Like, we're not throwing it to that side of the floor. So not many players had the complete package, both on the offensive and defensive end, where they can get 30 and keep you from getting 20. So a lot of guys can get 20 and somebody else can, or they can stop you from getting 20 but can't get 30. He was the one guy who could do both. And I always say he was the most fundamentally sound athlete that we had ever seen at that time. Most athletes, they can run by you, they can jump over you, so they don't have the correct technique. They don't have the correct pivot foot, the correct hand in the passing lane. He had all of those things, and I think the 3 years of college changed him because of that.
The Jet will appreciate where I'm coming from with this. One of my favorite openings to a movie is Glenn Ross, Alec Baldwin. Always be closing. Always be closing. And closing is what defines winners in a lot of times. The 6 NBA championships, the 6 NBA Finals MVPs, the never allowing a championship series to get to a 7th game. He never allowed that to happen, okay? By the way, best closer in NBA history, NBA record, 9 game-winning buzzer beaters, regular season and postseason. 9 for 18 on game-tying or go-ahead field goal attempts in the final 24 seconds of the game in his postseason career. Most point per games in playoff clinchers in NBA history at 34.2 per game. That's Michael Jordan, okay? On top of the 9 scoring titles, the 9-time All-NBA defensive team, blah, 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 blah. Michael Jordan getting into the GOAT conversation. He's not going to do that. Kenny's 1,000% correct. That's for us to do. So Michael Jordan will be quick off the air to tell me to shut the hell up and listen to him. Damn it, listen to me right now and be quiet. Take notes, okay? But I'll be quick to tell him, fine. But when I get on the air, I got my own notes, okay? And that's what I'm going with. He's the GOAT, okay? He's the GOAT. Now, he said something very, very interesting. Respect to those who paved the way. Before Dr. J, there was Connie Hawkins. Before Michael Jordan, there was Dr. J. Before Vince Carter and Kobe Bryant, there was Michael Jordan. You see what I'm saying? So when you have people who set the stage, all right, credit where credit is due. The real problem with today's generation is that there's not enough deference to those who paved the way for them. I'm not saying they don't feel it. I'm saying they don't articulate it enough. It's like a passerby statement. You mention somebody and you show respect, but it's not enough reverence. You see what I'm saying? I mean, it's like I'm from Hollis, Queens, New York, okay? You know what I'm saying? I couldn't shine Kenny the Jet shoes, nor Kenny Anderson, nor Stephon Marbury, nor any of these guys. You understand? I'm saying Dwayne Pearl Washington, Rod Strickland and the crew. I defer to them. I know my place. This is what I do. When it comes to actually doing it, I defer to them. You see cats today playing, and there's not enough deference. That's where the resentment comes in. It's not that you don't appreciate today's players. It's that they don't show enough appreciation for what you did and how you paved the way. Not just in terms of the basketball court, but the monetary benefits that have come with it. That you stood on the shoulders of other people in order to pull that off. So a guy like Michael Jordan, who obviously doesn't have money issues, he's a billionaire. You know what he's doing. You understand? You can't tell him anything. Right? And by the way, now he's winning at NASCAR, not just basketball. You understand? With all of this stuff that's going on, he takes a moment to sit up there and remind you of the Oscar Robertsons and the Elgin Baylors of the world and so many others from the past, not to mention the future, the people that came after him. And he's saying, yo, you can never prove it, but he knows better because, damn it, he's got two eyes, and I have two eyes. We know what we've seen, right? That doesn't mean you look at a LeBron James.
Stephen, you're missing the greatest point that you just said.
Go ahead.
Not only we know what you've seen, we understand the context and when it was happening.
That's right.
So where most people who are younger than us, they just see the highlight or they can watch the game. They go, oh, I watched that whole game. But you don't understand the context of what it was and what was going on at that time. But you understand the context of what it was when LeBron was going through it.
Right.
We have been fortunate enough to see both in their context. So we understand what Kobe was doing at that time when there was a rift between Shaq. Oh, when Michael Jordan went to Atlantic City and he had, now they're talking crazy and he's got to come and perform at the highest level with the pressure on him. Oh, in Utah when he actually is sick and we're showing that we understand all of those moments because we were in the context of them as well as LeBron's moments when he was in Detroit and went for 20 straight points.
Or Boston.
And we could say, well, that moment still is better. And because of the context of it, not only because of the statistical things that have happened in it as well.
Well, and Kenny, appreciate this. LeBron's got 4 championships and 4 NBA and 4 league MVPs. His greatest moment wasn't in the finals. It wasn't even in a championship game. It was when he was down 3-2, when a championship continued to elude him. They had lost to Dallas, and then the next year they're in Boston in the Eastern Conference Finals. They are down 3-2. Everybody and their mama is there, including me. I'm there in person because I'm like, yo, he down 3-2. He cannot lose this game. He can't either lose this game in the championship or lose him again against KG, against Ray Allen, against Paul Pierce, against Rondo, with Doc Rivers and them coaching. You lose this game and you go home. Your epitaph, it's going to be bad. And that brother responded with 45 and 15 and bust their living, you know what, looking like a man possessed. That moment right there is a shining moment for LeBron because it's the adversity that Kenny is alluding to. It's contextualized properly. And what it does is remind us where we could have these GOAT debates. What MJ is saying is, look, man, these cats are great. The fact that you are a part of the conversation involving a GOAT shows how great you are. Unfortunately, in today's world, you got cats that interpret that as an insult instead of appreciating the fact that you're actually a part of this conversation. They're saying the greatest of all time, and your name is mentioned in the conversation. How could that be an insult? Only in today's climate. Only in today's climate.
Well, you know, it's kind of like very similar to the rap debate. Like, who's the greatest rapper of all time? You know, however, there is a group of people that have been part of multiple eras of rap music that can articulate what it meant when this song came out, when this diss track came out, what was going on in the environment, because those things mean something as well. So, yeah, everyone has their favorite. It is a musical kind of feel, but in terms of what a basketball player should be, in terms of intensity, passion. Well, I'll take passion out because I think all those guys have a great deal of passion. But intensity, the ability to play both ends of the court, the ability to lead his team. There's been no one better in the modern era, you know. And so I don't even put Bill Russell or the 13 championships and all that because we were too young to see. I'm talking about in a lifetime of what I've seen. He's been the most complete basketball player that the earth has ever seen.
And that's what makes him the GOAT. And that's why we have the conversation, because he is the GOAT.
And by the way, he'll never admit it, but he knows it.
Yes,
he knows.
He knows it.
He knows.
You brought up maybe North Carolina helped him in his pursuit to becoming the greatest ever. Let's talk about North Carolina. How about your son, Malloy, committed to UNC on Friday on Inside the NBA? There he is. Obviously, you're a former Tar Heel as well. How special was that moment for you?
Man, I was so proud. I don't even know how to describe, the reaction of what I felt when I saw it. I kind of knew it was going to happen, but actually seeing it develop and understanding his journey and where it is, his best basketball is ahead of him. And Coach Hubert Davis said one thing to him that I say to him all the time, and I was like, and I almost burst out in tears when I heard it in the meeting. He said, Malloy, I don't know how good you're going to be, but I want to be the coach to bring that out of you. And that right there says that's all you want from someone or your kids, to someone to say, I want to be the person that makes you be the best person and to be the best basketball player. And that, to me, I know he's going to get down there in Chapel Hill, regardless if it's Chapel Hill or anywhere, but he was the first actually coach that ever said that to him. And while I was at least in present. And so for me, that was something big for me, understanding what that really means.
Well, listen, first of all, congratulations to him. Congratulations to you, proud papa. I love North Carolina. I love North Carolina Duke. I think that's the best rivalry in sports. If Caleb Wilson was healthy this weekend, it would have been a better game this weekend, by the way. It would have been a better weekend. It would have been a better game this weekend, but we ain't going to get into all of that. What I want, Kenny Smith, is this. So Malloy, and we all know where that name came from. You know, the Archbishop Malloy. That's where that name came from. We all know what time that is, okay? Let me ask you this. Could you break down and evaluate what the world is going to see when they see your son in a UNC uniform? I mean, I want to know about his game right now.
What's the scouting report?
Break it down, Kenny Smith. I need to know. What's his game like?
Listen, where we're from, we don't sugarcoat. We don't sugarcoat. And we keep it as when he's going to be at his best. And when you see him at his best, and that's going to be development as well. But when he's going to be at his best, he's going to be a 6'6" point guard, and that has size and ability to get into the lane. He's going to be able to defend multiple positions, and he's going to be able to help them in a multiple ways to be on that search to win a national championship when he's at his best. And that is the development. And he's got development to do, size, skill, understanding of the game, 100%. But when you see him in his moments, you go, man, if he had more moments like that. Greatness is about length of moments, not a moment. So for him is now, and for everyone, is how long can you keep that length of those great moments? And so when he's able to have long moments of greatness, he will help the University of North Carolina tremendously.
Well, congratulations, Kenny. That's awesome. Another Smith coming to be a Tar Heel. Exciting for everybody. Speaking of Smiths, Kenny Smith's going to come back here on First Take because we haven't even mentioned Wemby yet.